So on Hulu, there's a show called Nashville.
Yes.
It aired originally in 2012 through 2018.
Yeah.
ABC first 4 seasons.
Yeah.
CMT Country Music Television last 2 seasons. Right, was a big economic boom for Nashville 10. Artists released music, kind of like the Partridge Family did back in the late 60s, early 70s, right? Precursor to Empire, right? Focused on the lives of 2 country artists, one in her 40s and one in her 20s, just beginning, and the competition between the 2, right? As it develops over seasons, it introduces to the audience 2 daughters, love interests, gay characters, and how the music is made, how the industry works in Nashville, Tennessee, how the music industry works, period, right? So it has 6 seasons altogether. We've been binge watching it, and it's about 5. We're about coming up on coming to the end of the 4th, going into the 5th season. It's really good television, right? So
would you say diverse?
Yeah, well, it's not a diverse cast. It is a multicultural cast because you do see black people in this piece. They are enjoying the music. They're there. Right. You know, every time I see a black person in something that's predominantly white, I'll be like, oh man, that makes me want to follow that character. As soon as I see, who was that who cut across the screen? Let's follow where that person is going. Right. Storyline through line of Nashville 10. Character development and arc of the characters 10. Tear-jerking scenes in it 10. 7, the musical numbers, all of them aren't good, but they're come once you get into like the 2nd season and on, they start you can see where there's the influence of hip hop, right? In the music, in the rhythms, right? The actors' emotion, the acting 10. Special guest stars, that's a 10. Teaching behind the scenes of the music business in Nashville is in 10. So what would you rate Nashville and why?
Across the board, I would give it a 10. I remember when, so like you said, it's the precursor to Empire. So Empire came out, and Empire did huge numbers, right? So then different networks said, hey, let's jump on that bandwagon or whatever. But you know what? ABC jumped on the bandwagon because they saw the success.
They saw it first.
They saw the success of Empire.
No, Empire came out after.
Did it?
That's why I said it came out after. It was a precursor, meaning it was before. It came out 2012 to 2018. Empire started in 2015.
Wow.
So it's a precursor to Empire.
You did say precursor. You know what? Well, they got it right though, because other channels,
no,
they tried to. Nashville is
Nashville came
really
first.
Good.
It came in 2012.
Okay,
and then Empire
so that's
came,
probably why they gave the green light.
At the time in 2012, that's when Hustle and Flow was out, right? Okay. And then afterwards, they got back together because remember they tried to stop. But anyway, that's another story for another time.
Well, anyway, what I would give the
Nashville,
show is
a 10.
Well,
no,
Nashville, right? Okay, so now that you cleared that up, because I remember when Empire came out, so many other shows. But now knowing that Nashville was first,
yes,
I mean, Nashville's a great show.
Great show.
I mean, because it's like the writing. What I like, okay, so in Nashville. So Nashville has heterosexual as well as homosexual relationships on the show, right? But
so it's not just so it's not just American blacks that are being hit with that, and I'm sure the country people who are totally they're really totally against it.
Yeah, but what I liked about it was that even they had heterosexual relationships, homosexual relationships, but what drove the show was storylines about just overall life and relationships.
And music.
It wasn't right. So they didn't just push like anyone's sexuality. It was about each individual character and what they were going through, right? And then so the writing is so good. Like the scenes where like they're like breaking down crying, you find yourself, your eyes getting watered because like I said, like we said, it was multicultural, right? So they have season 1, right? So one of the family members that they grew up with was a black councilman, right? And his wife, and then he was involved in the storyline, right? And then the following season, one of the main characters, her best friend is black. So what I love is in the season we're watching now, 4, one of the corporate people, she's like black, but then there's other black people within the. But what
Mario Van Peebles actually directed
a lot of
makes
episodes.
a guest appearance.
So that's what I like about it, right? It's
so what would you give it?
Behind the scenes as well as in front of the scenes, you do see it's multicultural. I would give it a 10 because the music is great, the costume and design is just great. I love seeing the performances. The storylines are good, and it just real good because it's not what I thought. Like the previews that they gave when Nashville was out didn't do it justice at all.
Okay, so I'd give it a 10 as well. All right, people.